Hey,
Rom, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm awesome. Good to see you, Toby.
Yeah.
Last but not least.
Yes. It's first begin.
How's the weather? How's everything?
Conversation about branding will be as essential as some of the other points that came up. It was interesting to see. So it was good.
Where are you now?
I'm home in lockdown in London.
Yeah.
So yeah, just same as everybody else, pretty much. Yeah, staying in one place, not going out very much at all, but quite enjoying the time. Actually, it's good.
What have you been doing?
Still, obviously, there's still client activities ongoing. Some clients have obviously been affected, and I think that kind of experience for most people. But it's been a great opportunity to start growing some more vegetables, so we'll be self-sufficient if we need to when the time. But yeah, just kind of, and I think things like this, connecting with people in different ways and using the kind of challenges and adversities, still try to carry on as much as possible, keep those connections, try different ways of working, try different ways of communicating with people, and adapt fast. I think kind of the big learning over the last few weeks, few months, I think. Yeah.
So can you tell everyone a bit about your background and then
So I'm a creative director and branding consultant. So I've run my own business for 25 years now, in various sort of forms. And I think we met probably 8 years ago, 10 years ago now, in Shoreditch House, probably with cocktail. I work with a range of predominantly British brands, but kind of global clients, with a focus on sort of the premium luxury sector, but also often with a kind of strong heritage or a backbone of storytelling. So a real variety from small startup companies to 100-year-old companies that obviously for years. It's a real kind of mix of different things.
And I had a reflection a bit on your experience that you were growing the agency, but then actually you enjoyed working independently too.
Yes.
So would you be able to elaborate more on that? And because this is actually the time because you're at home working.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think the previous incarnation of the studio that I was running was we were kind of medium-sized entity, and with that, obviously, you get a lot of kind of running in this. There's a lot of things that you need to do that aren't necessarily the core of where passion lies. So I think having in more recent times sort of simplified the operation to focus on things, it was the perfect setup for now being stuck at home, working solo. So so I think it's and I think that was almost what I was saying. My observation of the clients that are doing amazing things and the work that we're doing at the moment, help some sort of clients in particular, is the speed of adapting. So the challenges everybody's facing, everything stopped on a hard date, but the real opportunity now to try and almost harness that bit of the kind of startup and change things quickly and at pace and just try different things. Whereas before coronavirus, and also I think it's important to point out that here in the UK we had Brexit for about 20 years, feels like. So a lot of businesses have been through the same experience of uncertainty and not necessarily knowing where the future was starting to go. And we sort of just about came out of that, and then coronavirus. So, I think that learning is that you just have to accept the uncertainty, just try different things. Yeah.
And how has the speed been for you?
How is
the speed, the pace?
I think it's been good. I think it's more because as creative people, it's very what it's like. You have clients that work very slowly, and you work on year-long, 2-year-long projects, and then you have other clients where perhaps they're startups. So we're used to working different paces, I think what I've noticed, the client, it's been more of an impact on clients. So some clients who would traditionally work at a slower pace suddenly had a kind of pick up the arse and have had to suddenly work at a much faster rate. And I think that's been interesting, invigorating that kind of energy behind just people going full tilt at things and trying something different.
Because it has kind of affected everyone, right? And then that's why I came up with an idea of doing this, of how, you know, we are all creative people could do to adapt or to change or
find a solution. Yeah, I think it's sort of my observation, I suppose, is that, you know, traditionally you think of you know, I was talking to somebody before this happened about this is now defined as the sort of fourth industrial revolution. So this period of disruptive use of technology, now this sort of, you know, fourth industrial revolution. And we had studio space, which we shared with a couple of fairly big startups a couple of years ago. And the way tech companies often work is they get a product together as quickly as possible and get it out there. And if it doesn't work, they tweak it, evolve it, and you have 2.0, and then you have 3. Whereas I think it's quite easy as with design and brand, get something perfect, tweak it, and when it's ready, you launch it. And I think there's almost been a turning on the head of this idea. You know, we're helping the relationship I now have with certain clients is literally helping them keep the business alive. So you feel much more of a responsibility to ensure that we're trying things and almost don't get bogged down discussing which just get it out there. Let's try it. And yeah, and if it's working, you'll see a result. You know, money will be coming in. That's the ultimate measure right now. So
you think as a branding and design consultant, you could help move forward by, you know, helping them to innovate, kind of, or like think of different ways to do things.
I think it's really, you know, as Moo said on the previous interview, you know, we're not an essential frontline service. We're nice to have, but I think what it does, it really focuses the mind on what is important, and obviously, as long as everybody stays healthy and alive, that's the first step. But after that, making sure that businesses understand what they need to do to survive this kind of, you know, pandemic global crisis. So helping them to just be a bit more innovative, work a bit quicker, and they will make quicker decisions because they have to. So it's quite, you know, it is an exciting time at the same time, in a strange sort of way.
And how has this experience affected you personally in somehow, that your perspective kind of, or anything?
I think, well,
or it's just the same. It's just like kind of adaptive, like, you know, kind of like you're always like.
I think the
moving along well.
3 kids. I've got 3 kids, so the challenge of homeschooling, and my wife works for the NHS, so there's been a bit of a juggling act of she's you know, kind of frontline work, and doing those kind of things. But you know, it's been positive. We haven't killed anybody yet. Everybody's getting on, so it's a positive thing. And I think it's just about organising yourself better and prioritising things. You know what's important. You make those things priority, work around the challenges.
Anything else you'd like to share? Maybe useful for, like, you know, creative people, like, you know, like, because I think, like, you know, the reason why we had today, just because I think it comes back to this conversation that we need to be having more. And we hope that a conversation would, you know, be beneficial or inspiring, or it's just like going back to the old times when there's no Skype, no conversations like this, you know. It's also a time of reflection. So we mentioned a lot of this work before, that through this, hopefully we'll get something out of it.
Yeah, I think that's it's definitely given, or personally, it's given me space to sort of, have a bit of downtime, reflect on the sort of, the kind of work you want to be doing. That actually, there is a sense this is a big change, but I think there will be a load of positives that come out of time. So, I think it's definitely brought communities back together, and that's physical communities of the people who live on the people on the street, but also, today this conversations have been around bringing creative community together from various places. That I think there's a lot of hardship, and there are still a lot of people in difficult situations from both a kind of work perspective, but when we come out the other side of this, I think there will be a lot of good and a lot of positives that should come from it. So I'm certainly any downtime that I'm getting to sort of plan for when this is all over, reading a lot more, trying to learn a few new things as well, and just taking a bit of time to reflect a bit on actually what you do want to be doing, and the kind of work and the kind of people you want to be working with and helping. And it's difficult because you don't know. If you knew this was going to last 2 months, you could plan your time very well, but
you don't know.
It could last for longer and longer. But at the moment, it's a good balance of so a bit of calm downtime, but also having things to be done. So good.
So I recently drew a graph. It's like a constantly iterating weekly by weekly or daily by daily, because then you don't know what's going to happen. So you always have to keep an eye out, but then also focus on the things you can have control of, right?
Yeah, and that, isn't it? It's like it's probably Kipling quote. I'm not sure, but the things you can't control, just got to accept and make the most of, and the things you can control, that's where all your energies, and whether it's helping somebody, helping a client, or just planning for the time after Corona. Those are the important things.
Well, thank you, Toby, for today. It's good to catch up with you.
Yeah.
After all this, I hope we're gonna continue to have more interesting conversations. I didn't want it to be so proper, actually. Just wanted it to be a bit casual, but it's the first time I'm doing it.
I think I've watched all the others. I think it was working well. I think there were some common things that came through all that I thought were interesting, and as I say, sometimes all about this, just building an online community seems to be a really strong thing. For example, last week I've been working with a coffee brand, and essentially their business side is, all the shops are shut, and it's about just trying how we can build a coffee shop community online. So, it's a really interesting opportunity to essentially scale a business through online and digital channels, and at the same time not lose the kind of essence of what that brand is about. Not just suddenly through ad, it's about still the experience you would get from going into that coffee shop. So, we find new ways to create human experience in challenging times.
So let me reflect back and give a summary, maybe a little bit. I'll try as best as I can from the first speakers to you, or what each person has been talking, because we touched on so many aspects. The question that we started in this talk, it was actually how we as creatives can make, from this learning, the world better, or how can we make better changes. So, Luning started with, she lived in China, she's from China, but now she's in the UK. So she said it's been a constant reinventing, reiteration process through new breakthrough, new perception, new efficiency in Chinese market, and people are starting to focus more on quality, and because China probably has been growing so fast, and I think this is hearing from from her from an art background. She didn't even talk about art. Come on, that was interesting. Yeah, it's a cooling down time for the art industry. And Matteo, I knew him for quite a while now. It's good to reconnect with him in Milan because the situation there. It's
extreme. Yeah.
It's I love Italy, and just after all this, it's changed many things, and from him talking about technology, disruption, and new innovation, and how creative people can be an actor to make all this happening. So maybe we're gonna use less space because we're going on AR, VR, whatever, online like this, and it's gonna no physical. Maybe there's no physical, but let's wait and see. So to be attentive on all these aspects is quite interesting. And coming down to Mook, cool down time. Mook is keeping things to the minimum of herself as an entrepreneur, creative person, and rounded with different, multidisciplinary skills, and always attentive, helping the emerging artist and someone who doesn't have an opportunity. So it's come back to the support and the community to what you've just mentioned. So I think we've hopefully we've got to learn and hear different perspectives from different people in different around different places in the world. And I certainly think that we as creative can help to make better changes, and we have the power to drive and create changes.
I think we'll help facilitate changes so that we have a kind of adaptive mindset, to help people. Although I think to be honest, everybody. I think what's really interesting, it's forced everybody to think about things differently. So the kind of cool down time is almost the same as it's taken the momentum out slightly. We were on a bus going in a certain direction. The bus was stopped, and now the opportunity to get out and walk, maybe cycle, things that there's different ways of doing things, and actually make sure the things that you're doing really matter, make it important. So hopefully that will reinforce humanity and add some value to the creative process as well. But we'll see.
That's a good one. I was gonna end something like with that word, but anyhow, this was launched because we're launching like a community platform. It's called Townhouse. So hopefully you stay tuned to that, and then everyone will stay tuned. If there's anything interesting to share, we hope that I could help to push forward the creative people and do something beneficial. This is kind of the sideline. We came up with the idea of this just when we just had the lockdown. so it was a spontaneous thing that we're trying to find ways to actually move this in a progressive way, and maybe I totally think that creative people can have to make a change, but on the fact that we just have to focus on a wider aspects of things, because most artists probably are just focusing on social aspects, right? But there's actually environmental aspects too, cultural aspects, or bigger things, which is intertwining with each other, and for the future business to progress in a more secure way, maybe there's a need to put all this together and to craft it well, so that it's sustainable, it's working, it's quality, it's integrity, it's adapting, it's all this coming together to help people or the environment. It's just that since the start of what I've been doing, I've been always keeping quiet in what we do as branding, because we're behind the scene person, right? We never put our face out. We're just servicing our clients. But I think like this is the time to actually say what, from our experience too, what should be done, and if something could be helpful for anyone, we can help, and we should be helping to nurture the community.
Yeah, I think right now is the time, because there's there's people's livelihoods, there's there's so much at stake that actually helping anybody in anything what we do. So in some respects it validates slightly more the value we do, but yeah, absolutely, people evolve so they can survive.
So thank you very much everyone for joining this, and Toby, we stay in touch.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some like useful insights, information from today, and one of my colleagues will be writing something about it, so hopefully we'll get something out that everyone can read too.
Cool.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you. Bye everyone. Thank you for tonight. And it's the morning, right, for you? Good morning.
Afternoon. Yes.
Good night.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.